computer. Okay, well, welcome everyone to Friday Morning Book Group. And this morning we are going to discuss The Huntress by Quinn. So The Huntress, a wonderful book. The Huntress, I felt was a very unique historical war fiction because three women take the center stage in this page turner, where the characters are loosely based on real people, Nazis and conspirators, and some who managed to escape for years and were eventually caught. And de Jagerin, I may not be pronouncing that correctly, but you know who I mean, the Huntress, who is portrayed by Annalise Weber in the book. She is, Kate Quinn based her on a real Nazi war criminal named Hermine Braunsteiner. And you probably got this if you read the author's notes at the back. And she was a guard at Ravensbrück and Majdanek camps. And she was the first Nazi war criminal to actually be extradited from the US after World War II. She was tracked down in 1964 and living in Queens. She had married an American and she actually became a US citizen. And it's interesting to note that after the war, a small number of these criminals were prosecuted because our government was more interested in pursuing Soviet Union and Cold War issues after the war, less interested in World War II and Nazi issues. But then after the World War II vets began dying out, there was renewed interest in tracking down. Oh, here's Tricia. Let me let her in. There was renewed interest in tracking down Nazis, and therefore it actually took almost 20 years to track her down and bring her to justice. So just a little bit about the author. Kate Quinn, she was born in 1975 in California. She was educated at Boston University. She currently lives in Maryland. And she is the author of several other historical novels, including the Empress of Rome saga, which is ancient Rome series, the Borgia Chronicles, which is the Italian Renaissance, the Alice Network, which is World War I, and then the Rose Code, which I mentioned, which is World War II. And I just want to read a quote of hers. She always loved history, obviously. And her quote is, "Too often we grow thinking history is boring, dull, nothing but flat lists of dates and places. In my books, I hope to show the life, the laughter, and the humanity that runs through our common past." And I think she achieves that. And I think there were several intriguing discussion questions in this book that we could probably go well over an hour. The theme of the lakes, for sure, you know, Nina at Lake Baikal and Annalise at Altusay and Jordan at Selkie Lake and Ian at the lake in Cologne. And lots of others that I don't want to take up time now, but we'll get into them. I do want to go over the way we run the group since we have several new members. I usually do a little presentation, as I just did, and then we go around the room or go around the Zoom, and everyone gets a chance to speak. You don't have to speak, but we like you to, but if you want to just listen, that's perfectly fine. And you just raise your hand, and I see you raise your hand, I just call on you. And we have a great discussion. So I don't want to take too much time because we have a lot of people. So who would like to speak first? Tanya.
As you know, I came from Europe. after the war. So I experienced the occupation of the Nazis, so I can feel for that book. And I love that book because the way she described it, it was very true what happened during the war. But what I want to stress most of all, how brutal the Nazis were. I mean, she described a little about it, but not really as much as what happened, you know. Of course, you all know what happened. So uh, the main thing I loved about it, the way they were trying to catch the Huntress, the way they went about it, and also the young lady Jordan, of course, she was suspicious of her in the first place, and the rest was very, very, very interesting, and I loved that book.
Oh,
And thank you for choosing it.
and thank you, Tanya, for your comments. And I know that that you have so much background and unfortunately went through so much. And I appreciate your insights and your thoughts always. Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Betsy.
I thought the book was amazing. And being a little bit of a writer myself, I can see how she charted everything out, how she kept your attention. It was a page turner. I especially loved Jordan because I'm also a bit of a photographer, and how Jordan, the pictures don't lie. And she would question herself, did she see that Iron Cross? Here it is in the photo, irrefutable. I've ever since I traveled in Europe when I did a junior year abroad and met my relatives who worked in the Dutch underground, I've been fascinated by the Second World War and the stories and the resilience of people, but what people went through, the brutality, the relentless brutality. And having taken a class in Russian history when I was in school in England, I understand the brutality of that regime. It was horrific. So anyway, I thought that this brought it to life. It didn't repel me, which often things do. Perhaps I'm of a gentler nature now, but it informed me beautifully, and it was a wonderful tale.
Oh, good. I'm so glad, and I so appreciate your thoughts. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Betsy. Appreciate it. Marianne.
I loved learning that women were flying bombers. Oh my! In the Second World War, that concept was my favorite thing out of the book. I mean, that women actually were doing this. Did others know that women were flying bombers?
I didn't know. I didn't know.
I mean, that to me was the most astonishing thing. I was wondering what people's favorite character was, where it was. Of the women, of the three women. I mean, Nina was just amazing. As the more you, what's interesting, I thought, was the character development in this book, but also Nina. At first, you simply can't possibly like her, but as the book goes on, you begin to warm to her, so that by the end, you're in such admiration of her.
Yeah.
And then you realize when the book is over that you just don't want to stop reading about her. This is one of those books that I was sad when it was over.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
But insofar, I was wondering what people's, was favorite character of the women, which one of those three women they.
Oh, yeah. I personally, I liked Jordan. A young girl of such a young age I was so in awe of her. I thought, at that age, could I have such perseverance? I would never have had the determination to confront my stepmother like that. I was in awe of her. I thought she was fantastic. I loved her, but we can talk about that later. First, we'll give everybody a chance. But anything else, Marianne? No. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, who else? Judy Gertler.
I'm with Mary Ann. I thought the Nina character was incredible. And as the book went on, you weren't sure what her background was, and slowly the author put all the pieces together. And at the end, she was just this very strong character, and it was really, I mean, she was critical in catching Annalise. And I thought that was, I mean, I've read a lot of World War II kind of stories like this, but this one, it was a true page turner. I started reading it and it was like I wasn't reading the newspaper. I had to finish this book. It was really good. I also thought, you know, in terms of Jordan, I thought she identified with the little girl with Ruth, because Ruth had lost her mother and Jordan had lost her mother, although she was a little older at the time. So I thought she had a special bond with Ruth because of that.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of women flying bombers, in the United States, they let women pilots ferry aircraft over to Europe, but they would not let them fly in combat.
Ah.
Yeah, and in terms of, you know, women in World War II, I read a book, A Woman of No Importance. If you're interested in an incredible spy story, it's about an American woman. I won't say any more because that's not the subject of this discussion.
Oh yeah, I heard of that book. I haven't read it. It's actually on my list.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it's a true story.
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
And the woman was incredible.
Yeah.
She did.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you. Great. Who else would like to speak? Richard. Richard.
I like the book, but I must confess I haven't finished it. I'm going to finish it though.
Okay.
I read
No
more than
problem.
half.
No, you know, for new people, everyone is welcome, whether you finish the book or not.
Listen to most of it, although I have the book. The narrator is very good.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. I just got involved with other things, but I'll get it done.
No problem.
As far as the book is concerned, basically there were three segments, as you know, the Nina segment, the segment where they're trying to catch her, Nina with her husband that she's going to divorce, and the other guy, and then the Jordan segment. I liked the Jordan segment the best of the three. And I was suspicious of Annalise at the beginning too. And I don't know, I didn't finish the book, but I don't know how people felt about the death of the father. Did that add anything that he died young and how he died to the book? I'm not sure.
I personally had my own suspicions that Annalise orchestrated that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
As soon as it happened, I thought she had something to do with it.
Did Jordan think that? That she had anything?
Not at first, but maybe later on.
Didn't they talk about that? How she put the wrong powder into the guns?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah, they talked about how, and I thought I thought Jordan confronted her, Annalise, about it.
Yeah, not obviously when he died, it was just such shock and there was but later on, yes. So
Richard just hasn't gotten there yet.
Okay, I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, so we won't spoil it.
Okay.
I guess, I don't know.
I like the Jordan part the best of the three, mainly because of all the Boston places too.
Yeah, I agree.
And anyhow, I guess I'll also find out what happened if she ever got married. I assume she did, but you don't have to tell me. She got married to Garrett. What do people think of Garrett? That's another. Anyhow,
A very weak character.
yeah, that's what I do want to mention something related to this issue. I found out from a friend at the Worcester Arts Museum, there's an exhibit by this famous industrialist, actually almost the same name as me, but no relation. His name's Richard Newman. He had an art collection that was stolen from the Nazis. There's an exhibit of that at the Worcester Fine Arts Museum and what they had to do to get the exhibit back. And I heard it's a very interesting exhibit.
Oh, okay.
His
thank you.
grandson lives at North Hill, and he's responsible for that
Oh.
exhibition.
Oh, interesting.
And they got things back little by little. And the grandfather was alive for a lot of it. He died in the 50s, the person who owned the art.
Yeah, he was about 80, I think, when he died.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. All right. Trisha.
I'm sort of a killjoy here. I enjoyed the book structurally. I thought it was very interesting the way it went back and forth and back and forth. And I liked Jordan a lot. I liked Ian a lot. I thought, oh, there's a good man. But I thought, for me, it was so riddled with cliches. I thought, oh, come on, please. And so, you know, I read through, and it is a page turner because of its structure, but I thought as literature wasn't great. But I'm glad to have read it. And yeah, I did not know about women flying bombers in, I didn't know about Russian women flying bombers.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you learned.
I had always heard of the night, or don't they call them the night witches?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
They
yes.
cut their engines and they would swoosh down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the only sound that they made coming overhead before they released the bombs.
Yeah.
I'd heard of them, but I didn't know anything else about them.
Right. Right.
So I'm glad to have read it, but I'm looking forward to whatever the next book is. And
Yeah.
and yes, A Woman of No Importance is fascinating and could be a great follow-up read.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. I'll take a look at
And
it.
didn't we read, we've read a couple of World War II books.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
We've done a few. We did a workshop in Berlin.
yeah,
We did, underground. Oh, I can't even
Did you
remember.
read Women of the Castle?
We didn't do Women of the Castle, but
no,
That's a good one.
we did a diary, a primary source diary of a woman.
yes, that was fabulous.
Amazing book. Underground. I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
Did we do Nightingale?
We didn't do Nightingale. We didn't do Kristen Hanna. We didn't do Nightingale. No,
It's a great book.
It is.
right. We didn't do that.
And that's women.
I
But,
kept marveling in this book that Annalise was able to erase her accent. I mean,
Yes.
is that believable?
No,
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
No.
in
over the age of 5, it's very difficult
Yeah.
to lose an accent.
in the audio version, she still has a bit of an accent. So, I mean, not completely gone, you know. Oh, there's another. I don't know.
By the way, thank you to whoever sent me. I thought I had saved the link. I did save the link to the Zoom, but then I couldn't get in because it was asking me for a passcode. But thank you to whoever sent me the right way to get in.
Oh, okay.
You have to redo it every month.
Every
Yeah.
month you have to register, Trisha.
I did register,
Yeah.
and yeah, anyway, I'm in.
I had trouble with my password once too, but then it came back.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Marianne, do you have a question?
Yeah, Annalise losing her accent. I listened to the book also, and I did notice Annalise losing the accent slowly in the audio version. To the end, at the end, she did not have an accent, whereas in the beginning, she definitely did. That it was not every audiobook is as well done as this one. That's
Oh.
for sure.
This is Saskia.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I lined her up as now one of my favorite readers.
Oh, for those of you who, I love audio. Marianne, obviously you do audio. Richard does audio. A few of us, most of us in the group read, but for Pam does audio. For those of us who do audio, this narrator, amazing accomplishment to do the Boston accent, to do the the Russian, the German, the Austrian. I mean, she did English. She did every accent. It was incredible.
Do you know her background?
She would switch from Nina to Ian.
Yeah,
And
it was incredible.
It was.
Just amazing, amazing.
Well, people suggest audiobooks, but I often can't get past the voice. The voice is an irritation if it's not. So it's
I
good.
agree.
I'll take
They're
any
way
recommendation.
I agree.
It has to be a good reader.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
absolutely.
I'll just read the book if I.
Absolutely, yeah. All right. Well, who else would like to chime in? Like to speak? Anybody? Pam.
I like Richard. I did not finish it. I'm probably 60% through, given how much time is left on my thing. I really like it. I like the structure, the back and forth. It does make you want to go through it. I admired and enjoyed Nina, but I really liked Jordan the best as far as characters. I love the plucky young woman who, you know, makes things happen. It's just, she's an admirable character. I didn't think it was great literature, and I thought it took it's a long book. So, but I really like the story, and I loved learning about the women flyers and, you know, the Nazi chasing for so long after the war. So, yeah, I thought it was really good. And I'll finish it.
Oh, good, good.
And I listened to it too, and I'll have to look up the narrator's name, because I'm gonna, like you, Mary Ann, I'm gonna look for her because she was amazing.
Well, she just, if in case you're interested, she narrates The Rose Code, which is her recent book, and it's a wonderful book. It's also World War II. It's about the women code breakers. It's very fascinating. Like Alan Turing, he's in the book. You know, his character.
Bletchley Park and all that.
Winston Churchill. You know, it's very interesting. But she narrates it, and it's very good.
What's the name of the woman who narrates? Does anybody remember?
I just know the first name, Saskia, Saskia. I think if you plug that in with Kate Quinn, plug it in as a keyword search, you'll pull up a whatever, you know, whatever she narrates. Yeah. Or if you just want any books that this woman narrates, just put in that name and you'll pull it up under keyword.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll pull it up.
Great.
Good. Great. Who else would like to speak?
Anne.
Anne.
I loved the book. I think I read it in 3 days. I couldn't put it down. And I really liked the relationship between Ian and Nina. I thought that was terrific.
Me too. I love that.
Yes, right. It just was so good.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I found the name of the gal who's the audiobook woman. Her last name is Maarleveld.
Yeah, right. I don't know how to say it, but
I don't know how. Yeah, but I'm sorry. I wanted to look it up right away because I didn't want to let this go.
Yeah,
because she's done some good books, and it's worth then getting those audiobooks.
Yes. Was I right? Saskia?
You got it. Exactly. You're spot on. But wow, she's done a lot of books, and that can help you if you're, you know, on a long drive or something.
You need a good narrator.
Yes, exactly.
Trevor Noah was a fantastic narrator of his book.
All right. Thank you.
Miss Bonnie, actually.
All right. And here's Wagner. There you are. How are you? Would you like to?
I'm sorry. I turned my video off because I'm in the kitchen. I have one child back from for Thanksgiving and one in quarantine. So I'm
Oh,
a little bit busy this
no
morning.
problem.
Yeah, but he's not unwell. He's just contact traced and he's negative, but he can't go back for a
Oh,
couple
no
of days. So,
problem. Did you want to speak?
yeah, I wanted to say, like some others have said, that so yeah, I have struggled in previous occasions at book clubs, or this is not a subject I like to read about. Anything relating to concentration camps, Germany, Nazi, is a hard topic for me, and I really struggle to read books. It's too hurt. Like I can just visualize it too much, and it pains me to read it. But this book was done just enough. I know she didn't go into the pain, so it touches upon it, but it shows the brutality without being graphic. And I felt like I loved that I could stay the course, get through the book. And then of course it touches upon all the other aspects that you said, the female bombers, Russia. I love the historical fiction, that I love that I was learning as well as enjoying this book. I really didn't want the book to finish because it was so engaging. She did a good job of weaving a story with a sort of a whodunit and trying to get to the end of it. I liked that little angle of romance, I guess. So because she's got the drama, she's got the romance between Nina and Ian. So it kind of made for an entertainment as well. It wasn't just this historical fiction. So I think that's what made it more palatable for me. So I was really glad to read a book on a topic that I struggle with, and yet here it was for me. I think she did a good job. And I did the audio version. I will say, as to losing accents, I know it's hard, but I'm of Indian origin and I can turn it on and turn it off. So it just depends who I'm talking to, that I can either. So it can, I guess you could lose it. And in Annalise's case, she was determined to be an American citizen, and she even changed the narrative in the, I think, the wedding announcement, so that she would not ever be known as being an immigrant. So I think for her, she was just so determined. I mean, of course, it's hard, but I would imagine not impossible.
No, not impossible. True. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, but I like the book. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your thoughts. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's great.
But she would sometimes, at some point, you'd slip. I have a friend with a Maine accent, and one time she said "hoss" for horse, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know where that came from."
Oh yeah.
So occasionally,
I
think it would be very difficult to give it up entirely, and it would be a real struggle.
Yeah,
but it can be done.
Yeah, it's regional accents as well in this country.
Yes.
We come from different places, and when we go back to where we came from,
exactly.
I do it. We go back, and then we pick up when we were kids. We all do it.
I had a professor at Boston College who was fascinated with my accent, and I thought, what are you talking about? I'm from Michigan originally, and then he said, but where in Michigan? And he told me it was the most neutral place in the nation to be from for an accent. Now, I've been in Boston, since I was 17. But that said, it was interesting that he was so riveted on it. I had no idea. I was hoping to get a Boston accent. But they're interesting.
Was he like a linguistics professor or something?
He was an English professor that was just talking about this stuff. And when I raised my hand, he wouldn't just let it go at Michigan. He wanted to know what part of Michigan. I finally had to raise the hand and go, right here. And then but you're right about accents. It's almost like if Annalise had dropped something on her foot, she might have sworn in German.
Right. Yes. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
when I go back to Pennsylvania, I get accused of having a New England accent, but nobody in New England would ever accuse me of that.
No.
Right.
Marianne, did you want to speak again?
When I moved here from the Midwest, I became I got a job in the laboratory at Mount Auburn. I was head of the lab, and I used to have to order supplies from the pharmacy. And I would call down to the pharmacy and try to do it on the telephone, but I could not understand him and he could not understand me. So I would have to go down face to face. And then there was no problem, but it was remarkable. It was the only it was the only time that I literally could not be understood. And supposedly the Midwest, I'm from Chicago originally, has the most American accent, or the most understandable, universal accent, I guess, for Americans. But that is, I mean, I've traveled almost all over the world, and I always think about the fact that that was the one time I could not be understood by another English-speaking American person.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, did anybody else want to comment? Richard, I'm going to hold off till people who have not spoken. Judy Wolf, did you want to speak? You're muted, Judy. Or Eve. You guys haven't spoken.
I was thinking about your comment at the beginning about America and tracking down spies.
Yes.
Nuremberg trial became like a showpiece. America was interested in Werner von Braun.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Using Germans for scientific research. So that was another reason for backing off.
Yeah, I had heard that as well. Yeah.
But I guess my question is, could this woman have totally successfully concealed her past so fully, leading to her marriage? And I just don't know the answer.
Well, you mean in the book, or her real person?
In the book.
In the book. Well, she did it. She did it for 20 years in real life. I mean.
Right. I just wonder if accents come out under stress, can one successfully conceal identity? I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
In those days, there was no internet to look people up. You could probably conceal it. I mean, she did not deny that she came from Germany.
Yeah. I think also the partner, and that was Jordan's dad, he really loved her. And the fact that he wanted her to be someone who she was not kind of skewed his thinking. He did not want to accept that she could possibly be a Nazi war criminal. And he kind of just pushed that away because of his emotional feelings for her. And he needed some really hard facts and hard identity to be dissuaded of that. So I think for Jordan, it was a lot, it was more concrete, and for others, but
Jordan wasn't going to let it go.
No, and that's what I was so amazed at. A young girl, she had such determination. I was so impressed with her. She was very, very capable, and I maybe because her mom died when she was young, and she was, more independent and had to, take care of herself and take care of her dad. So, yeah. But anyway, anything else, Judy?
No, it was a very moving book.
Good. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Eve, did you want to speak?
Well, I had read the book when it first came out, 2 years ago, so I didn't reread it.
Okay.
But I remember enjoying it when I read it, and also that spurred me to go on and read the Alice Network and a couple of her other books.
Mhm.
I am reading right now The Woman of No Importance, which I really like. But I think if you, it's very graphic in many ways, and if it's, something that's maybe some people would not really like, but I found that really good.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
enjoying reading it.
Oh,
I did see a movie that sort of had that theme, or something on Netflix, I forget, but talking about the main character in that book. And also I had read a book, which I can't remember the name of, which is about the Russian women pilots, historical fiction. I can't remember the name of it, but there are a couple books that are
okay.
about that were good.
How did you like the Alice Network? Did you like?
I like that too. I like her books in general. I think she's, easy to read.
Yeah.
And I love historical fiction. So,
right. I know. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I found that was really good.
Good.
It does seem like, I don't know if it's just my reading preferences, but, a lot of World War II Nazi books are all coming out now. And I don't know exactly, are they trying to attract a generation that's, gradually disappearing or what? But it just seems like, every other book is about some aspect of World War II.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also the big anniversaries,
right,
we've had recently of the liberation of the camps and the end of the war and so forth. We've had some big numbers, some big anniversaries, and also the last of the vets and the last of the survivors are, we just had a very active survivor. I can't think of his name, who lived in Brookline. He was 96 or 97, very, very active. He spoke all over. I can't think of his name. Is
the Arbiter.
That's it. Thank you. He just died. An amazing man, totally amazing man. So they are dying, and a lot of books are coming out. So yeah, it is it's so amazing to me. People who live through this and then live to quite an old age.
Yeah, when I read these things, I just am amazed at how these people survived. How did they do it? Could I do it?
Yeah.
And I really
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't know how they had the strength.
Yeah. Well, as I've said before, my family, we have a legacy, and my husband's uncle, his father, his uncle survived, and then he lived to 97. It's unbelievable how. I think Sandy, would you like? Somehow I put you on. I'm sorry. You're muted.
Okay. Unfortunately, I hadn't got the book, but I found that I wanted to be part of this and your group and answering how people got through it. I just had this discussion, my family, from all this with my Chabad, and the answer is hope.
Yeah, you have to have it. You have to have it. Yeah.
And more that was
absolutely. We are almost running out of time. I had a few discussion questions if you wanted to pursue them. Otherwise, one was the different philosophies of the Nazi hunters. So, do the ends justify the means? Where Nina was all for, kill him. And Ian was of kind of the more, no, we just bring them in. And, we we questioned them, and but she was not of that school. And do you think the Huntress was? Do you think she paid for her crimes by, you know, just bringing her in, or should they have just killed her? I mean, what is what would be justice for a woman like that, and how should that be handled?
I don't think there can be any real justice for a woman like that because their crimes were unspeakable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and Nina had a very different perspective because she was brutalized by her.
Absolutely.
So it was personal for her, more personal.
That's
well,
right.
It was personal for Ian too because of his brother.
His brother was personal for both of them, but he
True.
had a different philosophy. He did not go for, you know, killing. And then what about the criminals? You know, she tried to justify her crimes, and are they in denial, or deep down are they aware of the horrific acts that they commit and they just kind of push them aside? Do they really think that what they did was for the best? I mean, these are very difficult questions, but
well, Hitler certainly did.
Betsy.
Well, didn't she justify at some point when they were said you shot children, with the exception of Ruth, through the heads? You know, they had escaped from a train to transport, and she said, "Oh, they would have suffered so much anyway. This was merciful." I thought, wow, you know,
right.
Her brain is wired so much differently. But then again, I've never faced what the Germans did after the First World War. I've never faced what everyone did during this First World War and the Second World War. So I don't know how that would rewire my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Good point.
Good point. Good point. Good point. So let's, Tricia.
Just as a literary device, an eye for an eye is not a good course to take, I think. No, period. Unfortunately, I have to leave, but it's good to be with you.
Oh, nice to see you. So we'll hope to see you next month.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, I should probably wrap up and let you know about next month. We will meet December, I think it's the 17th. There is a chat here. Let's see what this is. I'm going to have to leave. Oh, okay. So we will meet the 17th. It's the third Friday of December. And we'll be reading The Children's Blizzard by Melanie Benjamin. And I have lots of copies here. I also have audio. It is also historical fiction, but it is late 19th century on the prairie, the Dakota territories. And it's a good book. I don't know if you know Melanie Benjamin. She does a good job. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And any other comments or questions at all?
Have you heard of the book, The Lemon Tree?
Yes, Sandy Tolan, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm reading that for a group here.
Oh, good. Do you like it?
I haven't started it, but I did see the movie on Netflix, I think.
Oh,
which was very interesting.
It would be a good book club book, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. That book is on my list of books. Isn't that funny? It's about the
Palestinian and Arabs. It's
right.
It's on,
and
it's on the border.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good to know. It's an older book, which is great.
But there are two books. there are two books written by him. One is a young adult book, which is the same story, and the other is a nonfiction, and it goes into a lot of history.
Oh, which one is your book group?
Well, we haven't. That's a conundrum.
Oh, yeah.
Some people got one, some people got the other. So I don't know. I'll let you know after we discuss.
I think the young adult book, which is also an adult, it's young adult and adult. I think that's the one I was looking at.
Yes, well, that one is the other one is much more historical. Goes into the background, and it's
probably not.
Yeah, it's a little tough, little deep.
I'll give another opinion. I read it like 3 or 4 years ago, and it still resonates. And I read the adult one. I do like history, but there are characters in there. They're real people. It actually, I think this is the book about the house where the Palestinian family is forced out for the Jewish family who comes from Bulgaria to move in. And so there's this, these characters who are real that are through the book, and then it's you get all the history. I think it'd be a really great book club.
Pam, is this the nonfiction one or the fiction? Or
yes, it's nonfiction. I didn't know about the young adult version.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know. I appreciate that because I haven't read either one. So I would be interested.
Well, I have this one.
That's
and it has a number on it. So 956.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take a look at both.
This is from the library.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I don't know which one it is. I don't.
This is the adult one.
Okay.
And who's the author, Pam?
Sandy Tolan.
Tolan, Tolan.
Oh, so she's the author of both.
It's a he, isn't it?
The he, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a male.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's the author of both.
Yes, he wrote both.
Okay. I will take a look at it.
It's really good.
What?
2006. Wow, it's really old.
Pam, is that your personal copy?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. So there's no call number on it. Okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a look at it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
But would there be a call number on the young adult one as well?
If it was a library book, it would just say YA.
Well, this is a library book, but it has the number on it. 956. Oh, it has a J. That's for juvenile, right?
Yeah, juvenile, right.
The J.
Yeah.
And then it has a call number.
956. That's that would be Middle East history.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
But it is the juvenile one.
Okay.
The young A one. If it has a J.
I'd probably do the other one then.
Yeah.
Sandy, did you have something you want to say? Oh, do you have to unmute? Unmute.
I read it years ago, very controversial, a lot of discussions. There was also a movie.
Yes, I saw the movie.
Okay.
And it's just great for discussion.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. I will absolutely consider it. Wonderful. So
hey, everybody, I have to pop off. Thank you so much for including me. This was a marvelous discussion.
Nice to meet you, Betsy. I hope to meet you in the library sometime.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
All right. Well, I'm going to end the recording, but I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving, a good holiday, and everybody stay well. Everybody get your booster.
My 11-year-old grandson just got the first booster.
Good. My 10-year-old grandson got his. So
thank you so much. Very interesting. Thank you.
So nice.
I will come over. I'll come over later and get the book.
Excellent. I hope to see you. Wonderful. I hope to meet you. And wonderful to see everybody. Everybody stay well. And we'll meet again next month, December 17th. All right.
Holiday.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Happy holiday.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.